of water or?
I do. That DMP cup is yours.
That's water
drink?
in here?
Yeah, and I will
Sweet,
pour
thank
some
you.
water in for sure,
Oh,
man.
sweet.
Yeah, bro. We take care of our guests, especially Asian guests. Oh, this is on video too.
That'd be fun. Let's keep it going. That's a really good Asian joke.
This is 100% Asian podcast. Straight from the motherland.
Across the sea.
Oh my gosh.
We probably have to cut a whole lot off. It's like not matching up with the mayor show. It's just like, I don't know.
Man, see, the thing about that is you have the mayor on, and then we have you on. You have your own company.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're your own person, which makes you even more unique. And I'm my own person. And for some reason, the mayor agreed to come on. You agreed to come on. We're meeting. I met you through my wife. So how does that all happen? You know,
it's meant to be.
It's meant to be.
Yeah.
Good attitude, good vibe in the community. Those are important things.
Absolutely.
If you start going off and derailing and start being mad at people, bro, I'll tell you what, man. You get that Asian red in your face, I'm going the other way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are we rolling now or what?
I mean, I need to clap 1, 2, 3, Vega.
Okay. Vega.
Welcome back to Defining Moments Podcast. My name is Wong Lam, and today's very special guest is the owner and the founder of Creative Vega. It's a branding agency, marketing agency, design agency. My man, Koon Vega. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Before we start this podcast, take a deep dive. I want you to read that. Don't read it out loud. This is for you from my wife and I.
I have no idea why I can't even read it out loud, but it's good. I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's for you.
Beautiful.
Man.
They're beautiful. Thank you.
Absolutely.
As always, it's forever a mystery to the viewer.
Yeah. That's right. And the listeners, because they're like,
that's right.
Why is there a silence on the podcast?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
How's your morning been?
Good, man. Woke up this morning. The first thing I was thinking of I praise God in the morning, and then I was thinking like I'm gonna learn some lighting, for video and just pop on, some video on YouTube. Yeah. And then I went to, and I called you like, can you scoot it up from 11 to 10? Yeah. And thank you for doing that.
Absolutely, our pleasure.
And then went to Paseo Farmers Market. Yeah. And my friend there, Chef Angel Chase, she, really good chef, and she big on like local ingredients and organic ingredients. And
wow.
So she basically bakes some awesome stuff every week. So I got you guys some of the scones that she made. Oh
man, thank you so much.
So good.
We got my wife in the studio, so she'll definitely appreciate this. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Well, I feel like we're exchanging things kind of like a European soccer match, football match. At the end of the match, they exchange jerseys, and now we're exchanging gifts. So here's our gift to you.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't know why you wanted a large.
DM. Am I at the large size? I told you large. Yeah. Right. Thank you. This is I wish I designed this logo. It's so good.
But don't worry, man. We're gonna have to get your help throughout this whole entire process because we can't do it ourselves, man. We're a team.
Absolutely, anything.
Yeah,
man. I'll help.
Absolutely. How's the wife? How's the son?
My wife's very pregnant right now.
Yeah. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you. This November, the first week of November, will be. We hope that's going to be our daughter.
Yeah.
Birthday, around that. My son is 7 years old right now and ready to be a big brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So, do you have a name for her?
Yeah. Her name is Malit. It's a Thai name. It
Okay.
means jasmine.
Okay.
And we knew that it's gonna be a girl like early on, like I think before the end of first trimester, we knew that. And we learned that soon after that. That's for real. That she's a girl.
That's awesome. Did you guys do any type of what do they call it, gender reveal or some kind of party thing that?
No. I think we don't want to add anything on top of what we're already dealing with in life. Just keep it simple. It's like, okay,
man.
it's a girl. That's good. Yeah.
I like it. No problem on moving the podcast up to 10 o'clock because for us, you're a very special guest because we're doing a podcast on OU football game day.
Dude, man.
So, Boomer Sooner, man.
What an honor, you guys. Maybe because of we didn't plan it well, I guess.
Well, I didn't think the game was going to be 11 o'clock kickoff, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, come on.
Perfect.
Man.
Let's wrap it up before 11 and just watch the game.
So we're done then.
Is it 11 now?
Yeah, let's go home.
Not yet. All right, we have like 45 minutes something.
No, I'm kidding, man.
Yeah.
We got all the time in the world. So how did you get into branding and logo design and just everything?
Dude, it's a long story, but I'm going to try to shrink it in like a bite size. I grew up in Bangkok. I was born in Bangkok, grew up in Bangkok, and I went through 3 different art schools. The first one is commercial art, and then fine arts, and then performing arts in college. And right out of college, I got really good opportunity to work for one of the top 5 companies, production companies that we were doing like TV commercials for Coke and Toyota, KFC, and we aired in Asia.
Yeah.
And I was an assistant director, and basically like right out of college, performing arts, just like the skill that I needed, like to really help my director to direct these TV commercials. And after 2 years, I think around that, and I found that there's a way to make more money by making soundtracks for TV commercials and short films. And so I'm a musician, and I always loved making music, and so I quit that job and started my own business, and then just like loving it and killing it. It was like really fun. It was like really good, awesome 2-year period in my life. And then like in 1999, right out of college, I met my wife at my church, and we liked each other, but basically like we couldn't be together because she had to come back to the States, and then I couldn't really speak English, but we listened to Smashing Pumpkins a whole lot, and we liked each other, but there was no way that we can be together, But then like 3 years later, she contacted me like, hey, I'm gonna come to Thailand and kind of clear my head after a year of teaching English in South Korea. So I'm like, awesome, yeah, I'll take care of you, And by that time, my English was really good, so we just couldn't stop talking, hanging out a whole lot. So I asked her, would you stay for another 3 months to see if we have the future together? Well, that ended up, we got married after 3 months, and we stayed there for a year and then moved to the States. So from Bangkok, we landed in Earlsboro, if you know where it is. It's
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's out like east or something like that.
Yeah, an hour east from Oklahoma City. And
Wow.
it was I've never seen sky that big before, because like, you can't see, you can't see the whole sky in Bangkok. It's just like buildings everywhere. And for those who who've never been to Bangkok, it's a 40 million people kind of city. It's just like metropolitan.
Wow.
Crazy. You have SkyTrain, you have gridlock traffic almost every day, and buildings. So you can't see sky.
Yeah.
And then like, in Earlsboro, I'm like seeing the sky from horizon to horizon. It's like crazy. It was like nuts. It was like I don't know. I felt like I want to hit Command Z to come back to Bangkok, you know, like right then. But there's no way. It was just like that's it, you know. So, and I started to market myself as a, you know, music composer, like custom music composer, just like what I did in Bangkok, you know. Soon realized that there's no market here that I can survive that. You know, like I can't do that and survive, you know. The market's different. So we moved to about 8 months. I was waiting for my work permit, you know, and so we moved to Oklahoma City, and I got a job at an agency. I had to dig up basically like all the, you know, skills and knowledge from the first two schools. All three together actually, to really do something and to be able to make money, to be able to survive. So it started from there, and then I worked with this company, and because I needed to know like how things work over here. It's like it's a new world, right? It's really like I was transported to a new entire planet, basically. Like the language is different, the culture is different. You know, like it's different ways to convince people, different ways to make people happy or make people mad. You know, like it's crazy. Like, yeah, that's my being a person. Like as a person was like I wasn't proud of being that person that going through all that, because I had a lot of anger, a lot of like things to figure out. Because I was a majority in my environment in Bangkok. I was a majority, right? Never had problem with racism, but when I came here, I'm the minority. So that, but that's maybe the way that I learned it, you know, like through that. But I don't have that kind of anger anymore. I'm functioning very well here. So basically, like learning from that ad agency, and compared to like what I was doing, then, you know, like the production when we were making TV commercials in Bangkok, it was like it's night and day. Like I would say the standard's totally different. So I can see that, oh, there's room for me here to really like make it like up to the standard that I was, you know, taught in Bangkok. And so I think it was like up to like I worked there for 3 years, and then well, as a contractor, it's not like a full time. I didn't know back then. It was like I didn't get any benefits, you know, like they called me to go over there like 5 days a week, 9 to 5, but it's a contract. So, but I learned a whole lot, like what not to do, a whole lot. And so I started Koon Vega like while I'm working there, because I have the right to, because, you know, I'm the contractor, I can start my own thing. But once they learned that, they stopped calling me to go. And at the time, I think that's just around like the end of 2007. And we just bought a house and bought 2 cars. And that's when we have to start our business.
2007.
Around like toward the end of that, before the recession happened. Just right there.
Wow.
It was a long story, but I hope that's not too long.
No, that's not. The more detail, the better for me, the listeners, everyone, man.
Yeah, awesome.
Because about 6 years ago, actually, it was the first time I met you and your wife, and your son was in a stroller, right?
Wow.
Kowloon supermarket.
Kowloon,
it was around the
Asian market.
Asian market. It makes sense.
We don't shop anywhere else.
What's Homeland? I don't understand it. I can't. Oh man.
All right.
Okay, so Smashing Pumpkins.
Yep.
What's your favorite song?
Oh, 1979.
Oh my gosh, you was born. That's the exact same thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one time, and I love this song. We only come out at night, and I remember like walking up to the beach with Sarah, and she started humming that song, and I was like, "You were joking!" Like,
Yeah.
I love that song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 2 songs. I mean, more. There's a lot more.
There's a
But
lot more. Yeah.
yeah,
But that 79 sticks out in my
you
head.
like
That's
that
one of
one
my
too,
favorite. Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome,
Do
man.
you like that one too, Muggy?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, they're not. I'm not as music aficionado as you two are, though. I'll listen to any music pretty much.
Awesome.
I like, excuse me, I like music with guitars, acoustic guitars, because I don't know, there's something about that, right? It's kind of like the saxophone. There's something about that, or the piano. It's just,
Yeah, it gets you, right?
Instruments are amazing. I
Mm.
don't have that talent. You do, obviously. So, so you landed in Earlsboro, Oklahoma. It's
Yeah.
a very rural area.
Dude, yeah.
Can you do any marketing for Earlsboro to help get them on
Oh,
the map?
I
you
think
design something
I think
for
I
them?
figured out real quick that it's probably, nothing I can do there. And I think it was
Man.
I think luckily we had the DSL internet connection.
Oh,
It's not
yeah.
a dial up.
Yeah.
It's a little bit faster. So I search like in Oklahoma City and what's going on, and try to learn about my environment, and how to navigate to really like not die, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Fast forward from 2007 to 2019. What are some life-changing moments that you've had?
Mm. Mm. Oh man, that's a lot. Like you can count like every bit. That's a lot because um that's a pretty deep question. I can take it real deep.
Do it.
Excuse me for that stuffy nose. Getting over the culture shock, like learning how to like really survive here.
Yeah.
Moment is, I don't know, it's like little small moments like within that category. It's like something that you learn every day. Getting over racism, and that's kind of over time as well.
Yeah.
Really like my boy when he was born.
Yeah.
That's a big one. That's a huge one. Any father can probably tell you the same thing, like how great it was. Defining moment, another one actually is really big. This is like right after Addison was born, because we both Sarah and I, we grew up, our background in Church of Christ, and like we weren't taught anything about Holy Spirit, like God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And at one point that like when Addison was barely a year and we were about to split, like we walked like growing apart
After a year when Addison was born.
Yeah. Wow. And through the grace of God that he put this man, he was probably about 80 years old then, and Sarah was living, like she moved out and to stay with her mom. She agreed to come and meet this guy with me, just in hope that we'll fix our marriage, we'll come back together. And we walked into this guy's house, and it was like, for the very first time, we felt physically the presence of the Holy Spirit. We didn't know what to call that at first, but it was like you can feel it physically, and it was like an amazing love and acceptance, and it's almost like it cleanses you from all these things, like stress and arguments and like I don't know what's going on. It's just dropped, like disarmed you. It disarmed you, and from then on, it was like this man, he was just like loved on us, and like spoke the truth to us, and read from the scripture like how husband should love his wife, and how his wife should love her husband, and it was like from there it was like a transformation. It's like a huge pivot point for us, to really like now our life is focusing more on like how to draw close to God, and everything else just like fall into place. It's crazy. Like like I like in the Bible it says that like husbands love your wife as Christ loves the church, right? So Christ died for the church. Like, oh wow, that kind of love. Like, oh, husbands, we will say, "I'll die for you, baby." But really, like, but if you don't really roll the toothpaste this way, I'm gonna get mad. Like it's really like contrasting. Like, like you're willing to die for your wife, but little things like toothpaste not being, or things not organized in the house, you get mad and get upset. Like, so that kind of put things to my, and in my perspective about that, and being led by the Holy Spirit from then on, like learning about Him, and just like loving her with God's love. So that was the encounter with the Holy Spirit was one of the big ones. What else? Man, that's a lot.
That one's really deep.
That's deep.
I mean, that one is probably the biggest reason why you're here.
Yeah.
Why you're successful right now. Do you think you could be this successful without your wife and your belief?
Oh no, no way. Like I'll still be an angry man, and probably like, and try to fill myself with those things I think will fulfill me. That is basically empty. So I really like I'm a absolutely blessed man. Like I have my wife, I have my son, and we have roof over our heads, and we have great friends, and we have work to do. Like I think that I realize more and more, like every day, more and more, that the success for me is like in moments. Like it's not like the next moment. It's this moment. Like I count it as success. Like as long as I can love my wife, and she's still in love with me. And I'm raising my boy. Being a good example to him, and have friends that we can have, a dinner with, and just can be ourselves, like without having to pretend to be somebody, or and it was just very simple. It's just simple things like that. We learned to trust God on the money thing. Like it's really it was going against every bit of us, like growing up. And it's, I can speak for a lot of people too, like when it comes to money, it's like it gives you a little weird feeling in your stomach when you look at it, and like, oh, how are we going to pay the mortgage this month, right? And then like learning that, okay, believing for real that God says, like, don't worry about those things because He knows. Just focus on the kingdom of God, right? Seek the kingdom of God first. So we literally like try to do that, like try to believe that. The reason why I choose the word try, because we heard of that growing up, right? Growing up, but it was up here. It was never up here. Never up here. Sorry, touch the mic.
It's never in your heart.
Just my heart, like once it's in your heart, like it takes root. So it's a discipline. It's it's a reminder of like renewing your mind. So we don't worry about the money. right now, and it's
Mm.
just like, whoa, like life is awesome.
Yeah,
You know, like when we
absolutely.
absolutely trust in God on this, and I'm not saying like then I can be lazy and like don't think about a way to make money, but absolutely the opposite. So when I trust in Him, I'm like, I have better ideas to really do these things.
Mm-hmm.
People might feel like, oh, that's a crazy thing. How you gonna make money? I don't worry about making money
Yeah,
because most of the time, when people do some awesome stuff,
yeah,
that's when they make
I agree. I agree.
money.
Well, the buy-in, right? You
Yeah,
go out there and you're a role model. You're not doing it for money. You're doing it for fun.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden, it attracts the right people. I feel
yeah,
like
dude.
the right people with the right
Yeah,
mindset, if you
yeah.
will.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And people are hungry for that. I believe I am hungry for that.
Mm-hmm.
When I see people who just like so brave and like drop everything, jump off the plane without parachute, change job, starting to, quit their job and start
Yeah.
something new. I'm like, everybody's attracted to that, and it because it inspires them, like
Mm-hmm.
in, like it encourages them to like, hey, maybe I can do that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just love that part of it. Um, yeah,
Well, you've done that. You went from Bangkok at 3 degrees at a different country, landed in Earlsboro. Then you had to, I mean, between that time, you had to learn English, and you kept in contact with your now wife, and fought some racism, moved away, Oklahoma City. You got a son. You got what I feel like is a great marriage. Where
yeah,
you have to go through setbacks before
hmm
you have your breakthroughs,
yeah,
right?
yeah, dude,
And
absolutely.
so, I mean, that's the energy I feel, and I'm so excited to have you in studio. I remember, like I said earlier in the podcast, I met you about 5, 6 years ago, and Mario told me how amazing you are. And
Oh
then
man,
my mother-in-law,
Maggie's sweet.
yeah, she's awesome,
Sweetheart.
told me how amazing you are. And then we started connecting, just having lunch, just conversing.
Mm, mm.
And that was been about 5, 6 months, and now I feel like our relationship, friendship, bond getting
Yeah, I
stronger.
love that, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're not asking for anything. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just asking to meet you to enlighten me on some wisdom.
yeah.
And I appreciate that so much
The
about you,
same
man.
way, man. It goes the same way. I like hanging out with you because like you inspire me to be generous
Yeah.
with people, and like it's refreshing to really like hanging out and like with a person that like you admire. It's
Mm.
easy, and I have to like squeeze it out of you and kind of almost force you for me to pay for your lunch. You like to pay for my lunch. Yeah, but I like that. I like that. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Marius helped me become a better man for sure. I mean, I
Mm,
couldn't do this all by myself, right? I
mm,
mean,
yeah.
we've collaborated, we've become a really good team, and it's just a lot of fun.
Dude, man, that's really huge. Like,
Yeah.
for two people to come together and really like get on the same page and be there for each other
Mm-hmm.
and you know encourage each other along the way to like, hey, let's let's keep on doing,
Yeah.
or maybe it's time to quit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's
But do it
true.
together, like we quit a lot of things. Sarah and I, we quit a whole lot. We started a whole lot of things and
Mm-hmm.
finish and not finish. But I think is really not about that. It's about togetherness. That's what
Yeah.
counts to me.
Absolutely.
Like we've been through a whole lot, but then like you have failures, you have success,
Mm-hmm.
but that's like you have somebody who's willing to go down deep and like up high, that in the valleys and
Mm-hmm.
up in the mountaintops with you. It's just like a great feeling.
Yeah. What's one lesson you learned from your setback during that time when you and your wife had split for a little bit? What's one thing you learned?
Oh dude, I learned. It's pretty cool. At the time my mom was living with us. She came from Bangkok and stayed with us for 6 months. I think that was her last month that she was with us, in Oklahoma City. And so Sarah said like, I'm this and that, and like, like, and I didn't want to believe it. You know, like I didn't think that I did that. You know, I'm that kind of person. And it's so funny. I was sitting there at the dining table with my mom, and Sarah left. And that night I was like, Mom, be truly honest with me. Am I anything like that? What Sarah said? And she looked at me lovingly. Said, a little bit of that, yes. Yeah. And it started growing from there. A little bit of that, and it's like, yeah. And yeah. There's room for improvement, for sure, you know, like, so then I'm like, okay, I'm about to lose my wife and my son, and, you know, she's very angry with me. And my mom said, a little bit of that, you know, so it was like, all right, maybe it's time to, yeah, I have no choice, you know, like, if I care about this family, I have to examine myself, be able to, like, you know, be willing enough to look at myself and maybe see that person that I probably don't want to admit that I am, you know, and then like get rid of that, in order to make it better, in order to have a family back together. It was like, at the moment, really, it was for me, but it was more for Addison. I mean, for me as marriage with Sarah,
Right.
but also now we have this little being, you know, with us, that he had no clue what's going on, and so pure. And I'm like, I don't want to ruin that, because I've seen result of kids who, you know, family is not together, one way or another. In some level, some might not have any, you know, negative impact from that, but majority of people do.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that for Addison, but also I love Sarah so much, and I want to be better, you know. Awesome. Like, so then, like, I think soon after that we met that guy, Jim Craddock. He passed away now, but he was a man of God. It was amazing. So yeah, that was a willing, it was scary, the willingness to go and examine that, like,
absolutely,
to face that, basically.
Yeah. I think that's human nature for all of us. As they say that you're your own worst critic. However, are you willing to accept that you're not that great as far as your personality, your attitude, as a human right now? How do you measure that, right? So you have someone on the outside who really adores you, or just a friend. He's like, hey, Koon, man, this is what you're doing, bro.
Yeah.
And someone to shoot it straight. But I'm sure you have a small, close-knit circle that would be willing to tell you that.
Will tell you the truth.
Because I would tell you that.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
If you're out of line, I would be like, hey, dude, do you think Sarah would appreciate that?
I'll let you know when you go shop at somewhere else, not the Asian market.
So I guess I can't go to Whole Foods anymore, bro. Thank you. You're saving me a lot of money. In Vietnamese, I say, come on.
Cup and cap.
Someone's like, namaste right here in the Asian market.
I like that. Yeah, that's the truth, man. You need that circle.
Absolutely, man.
You can have huge amount of friends, but 1 or 2 or 3 that you can count on. That's really important.
Absolutely, man. Let's talk about some of your branding, from InKnit to Athlete Inc. to Kai's Bars to multiple. Man, how do you come up with branding for these genres? Because Kai's is like Kai's Bars and protein bars, workout bars. Athlete Inc. is like a human performance training facility, you know. And then InKnit, it's like knitting.
Yeah.
It's like yarn and all this stuff.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Dude,
tell me the secret.
Okay. Oh, how do I start? I just watched this documentary, season 2 of it's on Netflix. Oh, I don't remember his name. It's like a creative show. This guy. He's a huge part of designing Instagram, like the interface and user interface and user experience and all that. And he said something that's kind of got me thinking, like, oh, okay, that makes sense what I'm doing. He said, like, you need to create something that really, like, you start with the problem, like something that solves problem, but you cannot solve the problem without knowing the problem, right? So he usually start with learning the problem. What's the problem? What are the problems? And then, like, what's already out there? What's going on right now? Because I always look for something unique and bring it out from my client.
Yeah.
Like what's the one of the strengths that I can use to really make them different and reach the people who would love that kind of thing. So the problem could be, like, problems are like, for, say, Athlete Inc., right? Athlete Inc. is like my client, Jared, Coach K. He trained like NFL players right now, like active right now, and he trained a lot of guys who became, superstars. And but the logo, for example, start with the logo. The logo didn't represent what they're doing. It's pointy and sharp and thin, and it's an A, but there was no substance to it. I mean, like, and I told him that.
That's good.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. Well, after he asked, though, like, I didn't, like, go ahead and tell him. I
Yo,
learned.
by the way, Coach K, your logo, man. That's...
I learned it over the years that, logo can be really, like, sensitive thing, like, so I won't touch it until it's brought up by clients.
That's fair.
So he asked me that question, so I just told him everything I thought. So we designed that logo to have more, like, to be the triangle, which is like the strongest geometric shape. And then Coach K's heritage is Polynesian, from Hawaii.
Yep.
And there's this pattern, Hawaiian pattern, that's for warriors. It's called shark teeth pattern. That is resembled courage and strength and all that. So it's the triangles, like, in the logo. That's the triangle.
Like the one I have on?
Yeah.
So for our listeners,
Yes.
this right here?
Yeah. So yeah, and then, like,
Awesome.
the strongest
For
shape,
viewers.
geometric shape, and the pattern, and it's just like a simple A, which is like the top going up, like improvement, things like that.
Yeah.
And when I presented that to him, it was like he was almost cried because he already had this tattoo on his leg, that pattern, the Hawaiian pattern.
Wow.
And I was like, I didn't even know he had that. He pulled up so high, it's almost inappropriate. But he was just so excited about it. Anyway, I think every client, like, I would start with the problem, right? What?
Yeah.
Like, what's today? Like, what this client wants to do, and how can I solve these problems, right?
I like it, man.
Yeah. So, well, it's kind of funny. When I say the word problems, is not just like, there's conflicts. It's not just conflicts like to solve, but it's like the problems also include, like, what does client want, like, how do you want to be perceived?
Yeah.
Like the goal of, like, today, who you are, and most of the time clients don't know that until you ask those questions, and start thinking about it. So it's very, very important to ask good questions and get them to start thinking about it. So when you kind of peek into their heads and you start thinking about like how can you make that happen, and you start learning about what's already there in that realm, and then you start coming up with something that's not like that. Another good example is for Kilo Coffee. They came to me and asked like, hey, can you help us with the name and the branding? So I was like, really, this is gonna sound so funny, but naming is something that probably always something that you cannot expect. Like, I don't know how to do it. There's no method, really. A lot of people will tell you like, hey, we got to do this, and research this, and then you come up with 10, narrow things down, But I think for me, at least, like, it's almost like 100% subconscious. I'll be thinking about it, maybe not thinking about it, but it's in my head, and I going through that, and one day, for the killer, this is like never been revealed before. I came up with a name, didn't love it. Many names, didn't love it throughout this period of almost 2 months. And then one day, a band member just texts to group text. And he just typed KLLR. And I was like, killer. That's it. I think it's when you know, and then you're the one who really grabbed that. It's not really like you have to come up with it. Maybe you can come up with it. Like Pinterest is a really great name, like sometimes you come up with that. But to me, it's like to really like take that authority and like, I think this is great. And you know what to pick and how to present it. So they just love killer. Just KLLR coffee. And I search around. There's no other people use the same name. And from that, from the name, and then like, how would you present this whole coffee roaster, right? They're gonna do, I think at the time, probably like 5 different, different flavors,
Their Ethiopian one's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, it's really
that's
good.
Awesome. Thank you. That's great. They have great coffee, really.
Yeah, and the design's amazing. I wish I had a bag here to
Thank
show
you.
people, but yeah.
Maybe you can flash them on when you go.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Anyway, so at the time, like third wave coffee was like at its peak, like really big, and everybody cares about latte art. Everybody cares about how to really properly making good coffee at home. And bags, like, in supermarkets, you start seeing color coded, the same brand, different colors, and then you're like, oh, okay, I love this color. You can pick this color, and it's like decaf or, Ethiopia. And the design at the time, like very, graphic design is like very, very like sharp, like what you would expect that you get from, software, right? Is, I mean, the majority of them are beautiful design, but that's not what I'm aiming to do. What I'm aiming to do is to do something the opposite of that as far as I can, so that it will give an edge to my client, right? So I ditched the idea of going to do the color coding, like different colors on different bags, and go the opposite of sharp into freehand, into something that is just more artful. And to go the opposite from the third wave, you know, like mentality. It's like you gotta do it right. This is how you sniff. I sniff.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
But coffee testing, yeah.
Yeah.
Into like you can make coffee however you want. It's kind of rebellious mentality of this brand, basically. So you have the name. It's just like it's fun. It looks fun. KLR.
Yeah.
And the visual is just black and white
Yeah.
and black ink strokes, just freehand. It signifies freedom. Um, and you know, like with illustration, it's just like kind of funny. You know, like alien giving you a bird in the spaceship
Yep.
and squirrel with the antlers and so that kind of like I don't give a crap attitude, you know, like I don't care what you think, that kind of attitude. So that's kind of like the kind of whole brand mentality,
The uniqueness of it.
yeah, the characteristics of this brand is like I don't care that making it properly, I can do it however I want. I can add syrup, I can add, you know, like mint or experiment, basically.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so that's how I do it. It's like, and I never try to impose my liking into people's brand, people's, you know, like business, because that's to me that is not doing them good service. Sometimes when I can't do it, I hire people to do it, who can do this certain things better than me, you know. But I make sure that it's them.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they realize they toward the end of the process, most of my clients just like realize that they've been working with me the entire time. It's not just me, it's them too, you know.
That's awesome,
so
man.
I love that part of it. Yeah.
It's a we mentality, not the they mentality.
Right.
I like it, man.
Yeah.
You mentioned about taking a peek into people's heads. I'm going to take a dive into your head and your heart. With a kid on the way, and you have a 7-year-old now, married. What are some of your morning habits? How do you get through your day?
Oh, yeah. I try to now going to bed early. I used to stay up until like 3 o'clock.
Wow.
It's kind of, I thought it was cool. I thought it was good for me. I liked it when it's quiet. I didn't have to put up with anybody and work by myself. But I came across this book just recently about sleep, and this guy, he's a professor from England, and he's advising like Silicon Valley companies about the significance of sleep for their employees in order to get a lot more, you know, and better quality of work from them. It was crazy, man. Like this guy is like, he gets down into like everything about sleep, which I never cared about sleep until now. That, you know, like when, you know, like when like our brains work almost as probably the same level as we awake. When we're in REM sleep, which is the REM sleep is like the last part of the sleep that you would normally have. Like, you know, say you have 8 hours, you probably have REM sleep about 2 to 3 hours toward the end.
Wow. So
that REM sleep is like the highest brain activity. Basically, our brain is like working, making sense of things, even abstract thoughts.
Wow.
Throughout the day that we have, you know, like it will make sense of things. Just like, you know, kids, like my son speaks English so perfectly, the grammatically correct, without ever go to English class.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is that he heard it during the day, and his brain is making sense of things, connecting things together. Like, you know,
Wow.
the I watched that, like, because I had to train myself. You know, Thai language is almost the opposite of English.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're gonna say Tim's bed in English, in Thai would be bed's Tim.
Yep.
You know, like almost like that. So I had to train myself, and it's really hard when you have, like, I would have done this. I'm like, what the heck? Why you have to, like? And anyway,
Yeah.
so the brain figures things out most of the time. That, you know, there's a phrase saying like sleep on it. It's basically like your brain's figuring out things, and there's a lot more into this book.
Yeah.
Why am I talking about this book again?
Because that's about your habits, and
My
so
habits,
you.
okay. See, I need more sleep because
yeah.
it's not making sense.
Well, it makes sense because I used to start to like 2 or 3 because I was single, just doing my thing.
Right.
And then started dating Margie, and then she'd fall asleep like at 9 o'clock. I'm trying to text her. She's like, "Oh yeah, I fell asleep." I'm like, "Oh." And then we started dating, you know, more serious, and I found out that she was sleeping at 9, and so it became my habit to go to sleep early,
right,
to wake up earlier, so I
right.
can catch her in the gym, at least say hi to her. You know, that's how I do things, and that's how I met her, right?
So it was really true that she made you a better man.
I'm telling you, man, 100%. 100%. You talk about the Thai too, about the language. I mean, Vietnamese is the same way. Because I speak Vietnamese fluently, and when you have to decode it in English, it's exactly not word for word.
Right.
It's different. Right. Like adjectives and
yeah. I try to go to bed around 9, and then I can wake up around 5:30.
Yeah.
And have a cup of coffee and get on my porch when it's not too cold, and just read my Bible and
that's awesome, man.
Praise God for about an hour, and then like make breakfast for my family or wait for my wife to make breakfast, and you know. So we're really good at that. We love
That's
like
fantastic.
We never like. I like the dynamic. Like when I don't start, she'll start.
That's cool, man.
The same thing as coffee. Like if I don't start, she'll start.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, and then go on my day and try to get things done and as much as I can. Yeah.
What are 2 questions you wish people would ask you, but no one ever asked him?
Dude, man, that's. I don't know. I think I learned how to be, how to speak my mind a lot better these days. I guess if they don't ask, I'll tell them anyway. If I want to say anything. Yeah.
You didn't ask me how I'm doing. Oh, I'm doing great, man. Thank you for asking. Thank you for not asking.
Yeah. It's that kind of. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I need more time to think about it. If there's anything I like people to ask me more, but not right now. I don't know.
Yeah, if you think about it.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Tweet me, text me, Instagram me, slide into my DM.
Yeah,
we'll throw it on the podcast.
There might be like an Instagram story.
Like,
yeah. Oh, I remember now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I wish people would ask me these 2 questions. I think you should do a story on that. That'd be pretty fun.
Good idea.
I'd check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Do you feel fulfilled right now?
Yeah, I'm living on my way over here. It's just like, well, God, thank you for all these things, and thank you for Huang and Marky that inspired me. And I love you guys doing this together, and it just like have great friends around you that really like get you going, and like it's just I'm grateful for that, and I'm fulfilled, like more than anything that I'm fulfilled because like I have peace with God, from God, and I like I'm free from fear.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is I would say a lifetime lesson. It's not like I'm there. Like it was the fear-based, the religious thinking I grew up in. Like
Yeah.
you got to do it right. You got to be certain things. You're expected to do this and that. And it was never I never felt like I have freedom to really be myself. And
Yeah.
and then like uh when I draw closer to God, like for real, like as a person, not because like it's a religious thing to do, he has showed me like the freedom from fear. Like I can really speak my mind, and when I speak my mind doesn't mean like I will say whatever and don't care about people, but speaking my mind from the love standpoint.
Mm.
Like if your base is love and you speak your mind, and you're not being fearful of anything, it was just
Right.
like so freeing. It was really like energizing to me.
Yeah.
I never had that feeling. Always like, especially like in this like new world, like for me, like I have to watch what I say because I might get the reaction, like undesirable reaction when I say something that I didn't mean to. So it's always like try this or hit this, and that's kind of my base. Has been my base, but I think my English is better, and like I understand the culture and people better. It was just like perfect timing that I learned how to like have my base, my foundation is love, and then like speak my mind from that.
Yeah.
And on some of the like sensitive subjects, I found myself being to navigate through that and not getting that kind of weird look or that kind of like resistance or like I think because they felt love from me.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like I'm not trying to make them feel bad or or like they're not doing things right. I was just sharing my perspective, and smiles will get you so far, really, really far. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's a good thing to do, and because like I genuinely care about that person, and then you can say anything, because I feel like we are being like uh chained down with having to be politically correct all the time. So most people would just like, I'd rather not say anything. When someone's saying something that they share their opinion, like I just don't want to have any friction.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, like, God, teaches you to be a peacemaker, but at the same time, he wants you to, speak your mind. Like if that person can speak his mind, you can speak his mind without having to have a fight, but rather sharing different ideas.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have different ideas. It's okay to believe differently and still, be friends, hang out, do other things together.
Yeah.
We all do things differently.
Yeah.
Like, and it's absolutely okay. It was just like the mind of, but I don't know, maybe the society through social media, there's certain things that you want, or you feel like there's pressure you have to abide by.
Yeah.
Like you cannot really like speak your mind, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you get on social media, you start speaking your mind. People will either take it because you agree with them, or they think you're agreeing with them, or they think that you're against them.
Yeah.
And so they will become good compliments and backlash.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for that, listening to what you're talking about, you gotta be very careful. I'm not saying dance around things.
Yeah.
However, speak from your heart, because your heart is full of love and kindness and giving.
Right.
And your mind, maybe it's irrational at a certain point. So you don't want to speak your mind at that point, because you don't want to speak out of anger or you're ticked.
Right.
You want to kind of rationalize it, think about it, and then articulate it.
Sleep on it.
Yeah, or sleep on it. Perfect.
Yeah.
Get more sleep. Sleep at 9:00 at night to 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah. One of the people I like to watch is Gary Vee. I mean, I don't know, he's a machine, but he says a lot of things that just like, man, that is absolutely like amazing. That's true. Like he said, one of the things he said that I'm gonna skip the bad words. Like you don't have to think about what people think of you, right? You know, like there's no reason for you to think what they're gonna think about you. Or if you do this, what they're gonna think about you, because that's gonna cripple you.
Yeah,
kind of
that's
along
true.
that line, right? And to tell you the truth, he said, tell you the truth, no one give up about you anyway.
Yeah.
Like no one really care. Like they just do what you want to do. And I'm like, man, that's so true. That is so true. And when you see people like really, when you come across people who really like speak their mind.
Yeah.
There's a difference between like trying to pick a fight or just speaking their mind, right? It's different. And for those who like speaking their minds, that they have their things, like they know that they're seeking something they believe in wholeheartedly. That kind of belief is just like so real, right? And you're inspired by that.
Yeah.
You know, like how can Gary be like going on like 15 hours a day and talk almost like entire time every day, like because he believes in it so much. You know, see artists like paint all day long, like keep on going. Musicians like keep doing what they do best. It's just like it's the belief that it's just like when you hear that so passionate about,
Yeah.
you know, like what they do, it's just like that's refreshing. I like to be around that people, that kind of people,
Yeah.
more than people who just like I rather keep the peace by not saying anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it, man. So you sound like you were more about the positive influence, and then let's just say you happen to be at a meeting with 6 people.
Yeah.
And 4 are becoming negative, where they're speaking their mind in a negative tone, body language. How do you deal with that?
Dude, I would just be that change. I would just try to like look at it's totally different light. And it's from my perspective, it's not trying to correct him.
Right.
But as a whole, he's pulling this way negative, I'm pulling this way. Not like going against him or saying that he's bad. It was just like I'm speaking positive.
Yeah.
And you know what? Most of the time, people are leaning this way for the positive. When somebody's talking bad about other people, I was like, how can we make this happen? Like better? How can we improve it? Bring a solution.
Yeah.
You can go on with the problems forever.
Yeah.
But when you hear a solution, people like will flock into it.
Yeah. Bring solutions.
Yeah.
We understand the problem.
Right.
Or we think we know the problem.
Right. Yep.
But we're not going to be able to solve it as one person, but we're going to solve it as people
together. And people love that, dude. Like people love to be a part of something that they can make a change.
Yeah.
You know. Also, this is reality too. Some people really love just to hear about the problems too. They just complain about everything. I mean,
yeah,
like,
that's probably true.
You know, like, but to change it's not to change them.
Right.
To change it is to be the change. Like, if you and then you do what you believe will be the right thing to do, that will solve the problem.
Right. Right.
And it, you know, most people will understand, and they'll want to be a part of that instead of be a part of this.
Yeah.
When they have 2 different options, most people will pick the you know, the solution one.
Yeah. I'm going to be the change to help people.
Yeah.
I like it, man. Early in the podcast, you talk about being in the moment, living in the moments, and we're like that too. However, let's go to, and I'm sure you have something 10 years down the road that you want to accomplish, or some things you want to accomplish. What would be one thing you would regret if you didn't accomplish it in 10 years?
Okay. I would regret not starting YouTube channel if I didn't start. I bought a camera. I learned about all these things. And I believe that God calls me to do a YouTube channel, and it's going to be about creativity and God. And you know, I'm a Christian. I believe that God is real, Jesus is real, the Holy Spirit is real, and you know, like in my world, like a creative world, like, with creative people, like we don't have good resources when it comes to God. Either you know, we'll have like, you know, creative life and then church life. It's like that's opposite. You live in two different worlds most of the time. And like it's not like God is to become something that's a religious thing.
Yeah.
But you know, like with the things that I shared before, is like it's a lifestyle. It's not religious thing. It's relationship with God. So like I want to be that resource for you know, people who, you know, seeking spiritual belief or whatnot.
Yeah.
And Christians who believe in God, or people who are on the fence, whatnot. It's just like that will be something that I would regret if I don't do it. What else? Yeah, I think that's probably like the reason why is that, because it's probably one of the hardest things for me. First, to be in front of the camera, speaking in my second language, and speaking about something that's really like deep, and then showing my life and through the video. So all these things, there's a bunch more. Like it's pretty dang hard to really like do it, but I was trying to get out of it. It's like I don't need to do this, you know. But God's nudging my heart, like you got to do it. I couldn't get out of it, you know. And I was trying to be Jonah in the Bible, but God pursued me, and so I have to do it, and I want to do it. Like I'm being what's it called, obedient to that calling. So, and that's why it's probably like one of the hardest things, I would say. Yeah, other than that, I'm like trying to be in the moment. Every day.
I love that, man. And that's why I'm so excited that you're here in this podcast with us and giving us the opportunity to record, because I know you as Koon Vega as a man who does amazing work with branding.
Thank you.
Like just from the details to the story of that particular brand, the uniqueness of it. We want to understand the uniqueness of Koon Vega as a human being. You know, what are some of his habits? What drives him? You know, does anything make you mad?
Yeah, a lot of things.
Yeah, and then a couple.
Oh man. I can get real upset with Addison quickly. My son. But I learned also, like through that, I'm learning like his brain is not going as fast as our brains are going.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to say a lot of the same thing a lot of times. He's going like he's learning about the world. And it's like I'm learning about him, learning about myself too. And I don't know, like I used to be really an angry man.
Yeah.
I used to be that, because I was, you know, especially with Sarah back then, it was like I expected her to be a certain way. If she put things out of place, I was like, why? You know, like,
oh my gosh.
yeah, like I got really, like, but that's not anymore. It was that I'm so happy right now. She's still doing the same thing, but I'm like I'm I'm like, I can't believe that this human being loves me. You know, like that's most of the time that I see her that way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, of course, we have some like intense moments too, like when
Yeah, for sure.
I treat her badly or she treat me badly. But that's life, you know, like it's never perfect. It's just about like being there, you know, together. And I mean, like I want to be real more than just being perfect or try to, you know, show the world that I'm like Sarah and I we have absolutely perfect relationship, never fought. You know, like
Yeah.
it's I think it's much more satisfying to say that we're not perfect.
Yeah. I agree.
You know.
100%. And this is what we enjoy about this podcast is we're taking a deeper dive into Koon Vega, not the surface level.
Dude, yeah,
Is
absolutely.
understanding you more, you know. So how can we help you, and how can you help us?
Yeah.
You know, when
Yeah.
we're going through our friendship, our relationship
Mhm.
issues. I mean, I'll definitely give you a call
Yeah, absolutely.
or meet up with you. Actually,
Yeah.
I live in Oklahoma City.
I only know another couple that, you know, husband's Asian and a wife is Caucasian. I think, yeah, three couples, including me.
Nice.
Me too. So
Dude, we all should meet up at the Asian market.
we
then.
should go there. We should go there.
See you, homeland.
Yeah, that's
See
right.
you at Kowloon, bro.
Yeah, just hit it. Yeah, I love that. You know, like, and my world, my friends, like my circle, they're connected to each other. Like, and I try to nurture that relationship. And I love Oklahoma City because like it's a small big city.
Yeah.
You know, like it's everybody knows each other, and willing to help. And you know, I have friends who moved from California, LA, and they said that they couldn't believe that the culture is like this in Oklahoma City. That
Yeah.
people like willing to share contacts. You know, like
Yeah.
connections. You know,
Yeah.
like it was like sacred over there. Like that's who you are is who you know. But no, over here, like I'm a connector. I connect people.
Yeah.
You know, like I
like it.
want to make connection, connect them together and do great things together. Just like this, I just, you know, Angela Chase, that is this great chef, and
Yeah.
I'm helping her with her branding, and she makes amazing food, and just like, and then you're doing great things. Just bring the two together.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know?
Yeah, we'll have to reach out to her too.
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic, man.
Yeah.
A few more questions. I want to be cognizant of your time, man. What are you most proud of?
Like about myself or
About
anything?
Anything. About yourself. How about you? What are you most proud of about yourself?
Who? If being proud means like realizing something that's accomplished, something great that's been accomplished, I would say I really realize this great thing about being humble.
Yeah.
I think part of humility is gratitude. Like when you be able to humble yourself and you start seeing things that you can be grateful for, you know. Like I was so prideful about what I can do. It was like proving to the world that I can do all these things. I can make this happen. Or sometimes like kind of little, you know, like almost making it there, but I present it in such a great way, you know, like that was like I was seeking approval from other people. But now I'm realizing that humility really like satisfying is more satisfying and as to me as a person, because you start really meeting people on the at the on the deeper level, like almost right away. Like
100%.
There's no pretending. There's no like, and I don't go that way. I don't want to waste my time on that. You know, like So I'm trying to go on that, like the humility side of things,
I like it.
and it's a lifetime learning. I still, you know, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
When I catch myself being prideful, I'm like, okay, no, but this is not that this way. And also the realization of courage over fear, and that's one of the huge things as well, that I choose courage over fear.
Yeah.
Like if I make a decision based on fear, then I know that I'm being fearful.
Yeah.
And when I realize that, if I believe in God and I believe that God lives in me,
Yeah.
who should I be fearful of, right?
Mm.
I shouldn't be fearful of that, of anything. So I'm like, okay, I would, change my mind, or maybe sometimes I made a decision and told somebody like I'm gonna do this, I'm not doing this. I will call them back like, hey, I changed my mind. Sorry, I'm gonna do this instead and not do this instead.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
that was like a mind blowing thing for me, like to be able to live that way. I think the YouTube thing that I'm gonna do requires that.
Yeah.
I believe so, because God has put me through this like lesson for, I don't know if you count from like, encountering the Holy Spirit when my marriage is about to break, apart, to now. This is like the whole lesson
Yeah.
of freedom to me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. What's your path forward?
Um, I want to serve people well. Like I'm helping friends with like projects,
Yeah.
partners with a lot of people, like on children's book project, on Perry House in
Yeah.
Norman. Even with Athlete Inc. now, I'm partner with Athlete Inc. instead of just client and contractor based relationship, and we became friends. So um, I want to serve them well, and
Yeah.
like at the, when that's your occupation, you gotta have to bring food on the table, balancing that, like the investment and you know being able to make uh to put food on the table
Yeah.
is is a is a challenge. I want to have that balance really well. um yeah, I want to like serve my friends, my business partners, like the best that I can. Want to do the
Yeah.
best that I can. um Moving forward,
That's
that's it.
awesome.
There's a lot of things into that, like I can talk about children's books and
Yeah.
like what Perry House is about, but I think that's not what we're here for. Is to me is like to be able to be the best version that I can be.
Yeah.
Like to fulfill the God, my God's calling.
Yeah.
Like of me. I think that's important to me.
Mm.
Yeah, to be a good father, to be a good husband, to be a good friend. And serve
Yeah.
serve well. Yeah.
I love it, man. I love your attitude, the uniqueness, how you look at life, especially the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
The brands that you created, the brand that this athlete that I wear, and I'll take that to another level, was my wife and I talk about our brand, the podcast, and when we wear this brand, how do we want to represent it? How do we want our guests to represent it? Do we want us to go and post negative stuff all the time, and that's our brand? That's what they're wearing. That's what they're going to remember you by. So when I wear this Athlete Inc. shirt, I know that I've got to represent Athlete Inc. I've got to represent Koon. I've got to represent Coach K, and just everyone we've come in contact with, because that's a level of respect that we want to develop and keep with everyone that we come in touch with. So when they see Athlete Inc., they know that, hey man, that's a cool brand, respectful people, cool people. That's what society needs more of.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
So,
Thank you for doing that.
And that mindset is it's a small amount of people that will do that, because if you think about it, if you wear a bigger brand, let's say Nike, people forget that they're wearing Nike and so go. But that comes back to speaking from the heart and not the mind. Is understanding what you want to say and articulate it well.
Yeah.
Because you just never know who's listening, who's watching, and who's paying attention. You have a 7-year-old son.
Yeah.
That's about to become a big brother. So he's going to have to be coached to a certain extent on how he's going to have to talk to his little sister.
Right.
And he's going to need you and Sarah's support on doing that. Right.
So that's why I'm trying to like get good examples during the day, so he'll make good sense during the night.
I love it.
I'm like, oh crap!
I love it, man.
I didn't do a good job on that one. I hope that he won't connect that one that night.
Let's sleep tonight.
Yeah.
We'll just go to bed.
Yeah. So,
man, well, I'm honored. I'm proud of you. I'm excited that we're good friends. I'm excited to be in your circle. My wife, it's just great, man.
Same here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Last question for you. Well, 2 more questions. How do people get in touch with you about branding, just about you, your life?
I have Instagram is at Koon Vega.
Spelled
KoonVega. And if you go to creativevega.com, you'll have my phone number to call if you want to, because it's there.
Yeah.
The rest of the world, everybody has it. Yeah.
We have your secret number, though.
You have my secret underground line in the vault. That one.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's it. It's very simple.
I love it. Koon Vega, do you approve this podcast?
I approve this podcast.
My name is Wong Lam, and I approve this podcast.